Hey fellas, ladies, audience, what is up? This is going to be my YouTube documentary video just of my journey of what you probably already know is, and that would be an Achilles tendon rupture. I'm driving, so don't mind it being loud. I'm in my truck. It's got the noisy tires. Hopefully that doesn't show up. But I'll try to make the video short and quick for the most part if I don't ramble on. This is going to be my week 1 and 2 video, kind of combined together just because I'm already in week 2. I've learned a lot in these past 2 weeks. Just to give you my back end, I'll insert the video here. I do custom Harleys for a living. The bike was on full air ride. You can see in the video I backed the bike out. I aired it down because it has full air ride on it like a car. And because it was on a slope, the handlebars moved. And as I was walking back, I saw the handlebars move, and it was a crazy expensive bike and paint job, and I thought it was going to drop. And you see me lunge forward, and that was that. Instantly heard a pop, went down, thought I just rolled my ankle really bad, and at that point I really thought I broke it. And then I wiggled my toes right away, so I'm like, oh sweet, it's not broken. But then something didn't seem right. That pop was really loud compared to the million times I've rolled my ankle before. So it's a Friday night. I immediately go to the the urgent care. Urgent care does the x-rays for your bones. They said, yeah, there's no fracture, but you know, you got a ruptured Achilles tendon. And they did the Thompson test, it's called, and I had no movement. They immediately put me in a black boot, which is what you're going to get if you've had this happen to you. And make sure you watch this whole video, because the boot I tell you to get is a boot I'm wearing right now. It's a game changer. It was designed for this. Kobe Bryant wore it originally. Kevin Durant, NBA guys, original, all did it. So couldn't do anything because it was the weekend. No orthopedics were open until Monday, technically, of the next week. So I was walking in this boot. I wouldn't say walking. I was on crutches. They gave me crutches. The initial things that you're going to want to get off the bat, crutches. Here, I got them right here. I'll put the picture of it on eBay, or I'm sorry, Amazon. But these paddings right here for the grip. And then it came with this pocket for your cell phone and stuff, but that thing didn't fit right, so I just rigged it up with duct tape, and it's held up so far. But you can stick your pocket in there right away. So just the stuff to get out, like you know, I'm not going to hold back on here, guys. This isn't G-rated or anything. I'm going to swear whatever it is, what it is. It's the cold hard truth of what's happening. You're initially going to be filled with fear, and then you're going to realize that you had it perfect with 2 operational feet, and then everything is now going to be a pain in the ass. You're going to get frustrated. It's going to be annoying. I've actually had dreams, of walking. That's the other weird thing people don't talk about. Like, I'll have a dream and I'm walking. I had a dream the other night. I'm like, man, dude, I'm walking on my foot. Look. And this is 2+ weeks in. But immediately get that crutch thing right there for that. The boot, here is the Vacoped boot. I'll put the picture of it, or just type in Vacoped, V-A-C-O-P-E-D. I'm going to cut to it right now. I'm just going to show you this boot and show you the video of it. So you saw that boot. We'll get back to that in a bit. The thing is crazy, trust me. But the other list of what you need right away, I just jotted some notes here. Get a backpack, because now you can't carry your stuff around. You know, it's all got to go in a backpack. I just got everything off Amazon. Amazon has the bathroom chair with these suction cup things that go on the wall. They look like telephones. I ordered the chair with one suction cup and got 2 extra ones. That is the most dangerous part of this whole situation, is when you go take a bath, when you're in the bathroom, you take a shower, you don't have a boot in it, but you know, mine was off, but you could have it on there too. It doesn't matter, it'll still happen anyways. Get that. Scooter wise, here's the 2 scooters I got. You have an indoor scooter and an outdoor scooter. The indoor scooter is super small. It's ideal because it is so small, but the wheels are small too. And then the problem is I took it outside, I immediately ate it, getting stuck on a pebble. And then the second time I ate it was getting the crack in my driveway. So that lasted for a couple days. And the knee pad cover that goes on here, I ordered them for this one and the other one. Your knee will get worn out real quick from the raw leather. So get this pad that I'll put the picture from Amazon there too. I got the all-terrain scooter. The indoor one was $89. The outdoor one was $129. It makes a big difference. I leave the indoor one at my house now, and I have the outdoor one right behind me in my truck. You see me driving. How is he driving? It's his right foot. I've actually removed. I'm in a big Ram 1500. I'm 6'4". I removed the center console completely. I'm a car guy, bike guy. It took me 10 minutes. Now my foot is all the way here on the passenger side laid out, and I'm actually driving kind of cocked right now with my left foot. Been doing this for 2 weeks. I have to take my shoe off because just the angle of the shoe makes it weirder, so I just drive with, you know, a sock on. Get that stuff that I said right away, guys. You're gonna spend some money. You know, you'd probably be in it all for $600, but like the whole purpose of everyone posting videos is their experience. You don't want to have to deal with the stuff that we're figuring out we have to deal with. This just made it way more convenient, way better to help the situation what it was. And I understand it's expensive, but it'll be worth it because you're going to be dealing with this stuff for a long time, you know, weeks and weeks. And then the only other thing is I got I'm wearing it right now. I can't show you, but I got a diabetic sock, which a diabetic sock is just more loose fitting, because what happens is when you wear these boots, then you wear the socks and they got that like extra tight band on the top to keep it up. It just makes it even worse. It hurts. And you know, the diabetic one made a big difference. I've been wearing it for a couple days. What happened, I went to 2 orthopedics. First one, he did an ultrasound. He said, yeah, there's something going on. They went to do an MRI, and the MRI, I moved it, and luckily it was a smaller machine that just had your foot on there. It doesn't have your whole body. But then I didn't end up going back because there was a situation where there was an issue with the insurance. But then at the same point, I did enough research, and people weren't even going to MRIs just because they couldn't get in until, you know, weeks, if not months later, which doesn't make sense. I opted non-surgical, as you can see in the heading. I've never had surgery before in my life, you know, besides stitches and all that stuff. But I was like, I don't want to do that. Researched into it now, you know, enough to where it shows non-surgical has the same re-rupture rate as surgical, which is 4%. It used to be higher, but now new studies show it's the same. Performance-wise, I guess you're going to be like 95% surgical and like 90% non-surgical for high-impact stuff, playing basketball, soccer, stuff like that, which at my age, I'm in my 40s now, I haven't played a good game of hoop in years, and I used to hoop every day because that's what happens when you own your own business. But just realized, you know, all this stuff is just here to help you. And I'm just looking at my notes here. Sleep is gonna suck because you have to wear this boot. So I sleep on my stomach, I sleep on my sides. Now you're gonna get stuck sleeping on your back, which is horrible. And the sleep quality isn't as great. So I've actually been working out in the past 2 weeks, just because I want my mental health here and I want my other physical health still there, and I want my body working out. So at least I sleep a little better. I don't know what's making that noise over here? These stupid crutches. Be aware that immediately once you go in a cast, if they put you in a cast, you're going to go on aspirin because you have a blood thinner. Aspirin is a blood thinner, and you have to keep your blood thinner to flow down there because you're not using your calf muscle and or your foot, and that is actually a pump that pumps blood back up through your leg. So you have to keep that blood thin. That's the other thing you have to worry about. So I went to the first guy, did the MRI, and then I went to a second doctor, and so my toes wiggled. Like I said, my toes were there wiggling, and my foot swole up to a point where, and I'll notice it's getting darker in here, but my foot had swollen up to a point where it wasn't like an ankle swelling. It wasn't that bad. So I talked to a couple buddies that had happened, and they said it felt like someone hit them with a 2x4. That didn't feel like that to me. And then I didn't swell up nearly as much as they said they had swollen up. So that made me feel a little bit better about the whole situation, at least at that point. But I wanted a second opinion, so I went to a sports medicine orthopedic doctor that my cousin who recommended, who she had just went through surgery because she had a whole nother big issue, and I won't get into that. This one immediately does the Thompson test and puts me on my stomach, and she's like, it's ruptured, fully ruptured. I'm like, all right. She's like, I want to put you in a cast for 2 weeks. I said, I'm not going to go in a cast. I go, is there another alternative? She's like, what do you mean? And she looked at me all weird. I'm like, I've never been in a cast before in my life. I don't want to be in one. I don't want to be in one. That's just the way my head is and my OCD and everything. And she still looked at me super weird. I said, what can we do that's different? And now this is on a Friday I went there. The Friday, I was in a black boot for that whole week. And FYI, that black boot was 90-something degrees out here. It was burning, so I was taking it off. And I was taking it off during showering, too. That's the other thing. I wouldn't leave it on. So she goes, there's really no other option. I'm like, okay. She goes, think about it. She's like, you need to have your foot pointed down. And why you have your foot pointed down? Because when your foot is flat like that, it's pulling these muscles back. But when they're pushed down, it's actually pushing them up to where the tear was and smushing them together, thus allowing your body to repair it. With your body's going to do it itself. That's the cool thing about the human body, is it'll will repair it itself, and it just takes time. So she's thinking about it for a minute or two, and I'll come back in. She comes in within like 30 seconds. She goes, here, we have another idea. She goes, you can wear this boot, but you have to wear the heel. And she gave me that huge heel, which I'll put the picture right here, which is everyone's going to get that in the black boot. Wear this. She's like, you have to wear it, wear it, see how you feel. You have to keep it on 24/7. And then I made an appointment for Monday. I was going to come back Monday. Well, in the midst of this, if you looked at that video I just sent you, they showed the freeze frame of an x-ray of that heel. And the heel actually goes down, or goes straight. I'm sorry. Yeah, up, shoots down, and then straight again. So your foot's actually not flat-footed. It's got that weird, kink to it. That I didn't know at that point. I'm like, wow, this is, definitely working. I go, there's a big heel that's probably 6 inches in the boot. So in the midst of that, I jump on the group page, which if you're on Facebook, it's an Achilles Tendon Rupture group. Just type in that, Achilles Rupture group or Achilles Tendon Rupture group. 8,000, 9,000 people in there, knowledgeable people who have dealt with it the same way. I learned a lot on there so far too. One being asking, I said, hey, what's the recovery rate for people non-OP, or non-OP meaning non-surgical, non-operational, and then that's what you'll see all these lingo words. Non-OP is non-operational, post-op is post-operational, meaning they had surgery. WB is weight-bearing. I learned that once your doctor feels you're safe you're getting better, you're going to have WB, meaning weight-bearing, partial weight-bearing on your foot, meaning you're putting partial weight on there. So a couple of people replied immediately, get in the Vacoped boot, get in the Vacoped boot. So I Googled that boot, and then that video popped up, and I looked into it. And this boot is like the number one thing you should get right away, no matter what. It's $300. If you call them, they'll give you a discount code if you just ask them. I saved $45. So actually that Monday, I found it Sunday. I waited till Monday morning. The place is in Georgia, OPED Medical, OPED. They're the main supplier over here because it was actually designed in Europe and Germany, and all these German doctors, you know. I called them Monday morning. I said, "Do you have it in stock? I got a large." They're like, "Yes, okay." I'm on the next day, and that's when I asked for a code. They had a code, and the code able to meet to next day, and it was $310, which was, well, it was like done deal. I had it here Tuesday. This thing was a game changer, and that the way it straps you down, the way you feel, everything is way more firm, better, crazy. I was like, all right, cool. The form, like in the video, the beads, you have an air pump. It's not pumping air in, it's actually sucking air out, and it's forming the beads that are in here around your foot. And then it's locked into that 30-degree mark so your foot can't move. Then once you become more stable, then you unlock those locks on the back, and you have ROM, which is range of motion. So now your foot can flex down and up, and you have to do it. I'm not doing the regular protocol. I found the Exeter protocol, which was from a gentleman on the group page, was designed by those doctors and OPED, which I was like, they're way more automatically putting weight on it and all that. I can't trust the original, you know, old school knowledge anymore, especially with all this info out there. And I'm definitely going to trust the people that worked on these NBA people and had them back playing. So she wanted me in the cast for 2 weeks. It didn't happen. I went back in there now the next Friday, which was 2 days ago. And she immediately said, "Oh, that's different." I was like, "Yeah, I wanted you to check it out. Have you seen it before?" She goes, "Oh, I think I have." And then right away, I'm like, man, if you're an Achilles specialist, how have you not seen this thing? So I said, "Here, it does this, this, and oh." She's like, "Oh, yeah, I think I remember it." And then I was like, "Well, here's the protocol I want to follow." And then she looks at it. And right now, I should be weight bearing because I'm 16 days in. No, we want to keep you in your cat. We want to keep you non-weight bearing until next week. And then we'll, you know, that's in reality would be 3 weeks. And I told her that. She goes, "Well, I'm not counting that first week because you weren't in a boot." But I'll tell you this much: when I put this boot in or on, my foot actually went down to a point even more versus that boot with the heel on it too, which is even crazier. So I had to get used to that. So of course, you know, the repetitive repeat, probably what they're used to doing, old school doctor knowledge. They're just going to stick with what that's good, get you in and out, and that was it. And I wasn't really having it, but I agree with it, and I was like, okay, you know, I'll see you next week. So just a few people saying it's a mental barrier, especially when you get into this, because you get so used to going on a scooter and or crutches that you don't want to have any pressure on it. Yesterday, for whatever reason, I'm like, I noticed when I took the boot out, I take it out to go to shower, and I use red light therapy when I go to bed at night. I have a red light therapy 12-inch deal. It's like 12 inches by, what you call it? Hold on one second, not to interrupt you guys here and see what that is. It's 12 inches by 8 inches. I bought it a long time ago, and that one has been, I forget what I used it for, but looking into it, red light therapy actually produces collagen, which that's what your tendon is. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna do it every night. So what I do is take a shower in the morning, but then I take a shower when I wake up, and I take a shower when I go to bed. So before I go to bed, take the shower, dry myself off, and then let it sit on my ankle for 20 to 25 minutes. I don't know if it's doing anything. Who knows? But yesterday, I'm sorry, was it yesterday? Yesterday I put a little weight on it. Just I noticed being in my truck here, I would randomly take it off. It was super hot for a little bit because I'm going to the gym too. That's the other thing. I haven't stopped. You know, when it's hot and you're going to the gym, it can get pretty sweaty pretty quick. Luckily, these things are washable too. But yesterday, you know, day 15, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to put a little weight on it. I did, and I was doing the almost doggy paddle where you're kind of just floating, but at least you're moving your leg. And then today, this morning, I was like, all right, I'm going to do it a little more. And I did more weight on it. And I don't want to push myself, but I tried to do that. That's the other thing. When you get on these scooters, you get super lazy because it's pretty nice. You just fly everywhere on a scooter. But then all your weight is on the other leg, and then my knee, when that's starting to hurt and stuff like that from the other leg, and I don't want to have to deal with that. And speak of the devil, I actually got to take my Tylenol. But today I put a lot more weight. Tomorrow I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna baby step it. I'm not gonna get all forceful. And hopefully in the next few days, I'm on one crutch. And then by then, I'm on, you know, even by this weekend, hopefully by this weekend or this doctor appointment, I'm walking in and she's looking at me like I'm crazy. That's what I want to do. So that's the plan. Like, I want to be ahead of the game because, you know, you're going to be in this boot no matter what, so get used to it. But this boot is way more advanced than that black boot, and it's just going to get you to where you need to be way faster. And I cannot find the water bottle of the life of me. You're going to be in it for a while, but I'm just trying to not be in it for a while because then you have PT, physical therapy after that, which is like weeks and weeks and weeks ahead. If you look at the protocol for this Exeter, I'll put it right here. That way you can see, you know, how many weeks is this, how many weeks is that. There's a lot of stages to go, but it's a lot faster than what they want you to do regularly. So that's my plan. And you know, the bruising I had originally 2 weeks ago was on my heel, through my Achilles, on the back of my calf or bottom of my calf. I got really bad calf cramps. Like, if you've had a calf cramp before, you just imagine having that, but it stays that way for a while, and then it would randomly go away. And it's gotten better day by day, and the swelling has definitely went down, and to the point where I would assume they usually say 3 weeks is when it's gone. Hopefully in 3 weeks it's gone. But I feel a lot better and a lot more confident right now knowing that I walked on it today. So hopefully when I make this week 3 video, because like I said, this is week 1 to 2, this is going to be a good update for you guys, and you know, I'm ahead of the game. But if I recommend anything of all the stuff I've done, get that boot immediately. Get that boot next day. Get your foot in there, because it's only going to help the process, like a speedier recovery, and you know, get the job done. So either way, hopefully this video isn't too crazy. I won't know until I get home. It's not. I can tell you it's a little dark, but I'll lighten it up. But that's it. That's my theory. That's my situation. That's what I'm dealing with. This isn't all sugar coated cupcakes and cookies. There's rough shit you're gonna deal with, but you gotta get used to it. And being a business owner, I can't take workman's comp. I don't get any of this. I don't get any of that. So I have to go to work, and it just sucks being at work. And the job I do, if I was an office job or something, probably wouldn't be a problem. But I just need to always be moving around and stuff like that. That's how I am. So if you want, hit that subscribe button. Hopefully, if it helps 1 or 2, 3 people, that's all that matters. So, you know, and then hopefully your journey, you share it with someone else and you learn something and moves on. And, you know, eventually anybody that has it happen to them, it goes quick for them and it better. So, all right, till then, I'm going to take my Tylenol.